Hello everyone, this is Marco and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing something quite a bit different from usual. I came across a bootleg of a Hasbro T-Rex from 2001, around that time when Jurassic Park III came out. So we originally found it at ASDA, which is the equivalent to Walmart. It is from the Adventure Force line, so if you go on Google Images, you'll see which one I'm talking about. It's that one right there. It comes in a set and it's just 10 quid. I thought, you know what, why not? But yeah, look at that. They're just shamelessly ripping off other companies too. That is a picture of a Papo Rex. And these are obvious recasts of Schleich figures too. Look at that T-Rex. That is straight up a Schleich T-Rex. I don't know how they can get away with it, but hey, at least we can do a cool little repaint video, I guess. So I mentioned this is a bootleg of a Hasbro Rex, and it's of this one right here. It is not identical. The slashes on the side of the body are different, and the details are a lot softer, but we'll get into that. So this is the Jurassic Park III Ultra React Attack Tyrannosaurus Rex. It was the bigger one of the line, and it got re-released a few times with different paint jobs, and this one right here is one of the coolest. This is the CamoXtreme Canyon Tyrannosaurus Rex, and I'll be basing the repaint that I'll be doing today on this guy. So as you can see, generally the shape is pretty much identical. There are a few differences. The detail's a lot softer, the scratches are smaller on the other side, it's got some weird looking dew claws on the back, but generally the whole shape is pretty much identical. It sports some glowing eyes too, and it's got some sound effects which sound awful. But look, it's got the nice classic T-Rex belly texture, and we always like a bit of that. But one of the worst features this figure has is those horrendous bullet holes or screw holes. So we're gonna have to fix that. We'll have to fill those up now. So in cases like these, I would usually use Milliput, but today I wanted to show you a different technique. This involves superglue and activator. All you have to do is just pour some superglue into the hole until it reaches the top, all the way flush to the surface, and then spray some activator. And we'll move on and do every single hole. In the meantime, we'll let the activator do its work. Don't worry, if you put too little in, you can always add a bit more later. Here, for example, I added too much on. I just dragged some of the excess on the sides to make them look like there were wrinkles in the skin. If you're not comfortable doing this, you can always use some paper towels or kitchen roll and have that absorb some of the excess. That works really well still. So I'm still filling in the holes. In this case, I'm filling in the one on the snout. I'm filling in some on the tail too, and then I'll do the rest. I'll catch you in the next step. So once it's all set, you can use some sandpaper and make it all blend in really well. I also decided to give the whole figure a bit of a light sand, just so the paint can stick to this plastic a bit better. Now comes the repaint part. I mixed in some grey with some normal acrylic paints. I like using ARTEZA or Liquitex. I mixed in a tiny bit of yellow too, just to make the grey a tiny bit warmer. All I did next is cover the whole figure with this colour. Yes, indeed. All of it from head to tail. I made sure it went in every single tiny little crevice and every little crack. You want this to look like as if it was cast in this color. By the way, I think I'll be selling this figure once it's done. If you're interested, don't be scared, you can drop me an email at marcomakes.official@gmail.com. Once everything is completely dry, I mixed some pretty much fluorescent orange and I applied it on the legs. Then I moved to the rest of the body. I made sure to gather as many reference pictures as possible. Once I'm happy with the body, I move to the top of the head. Next, I painted all the black portions of this figure. This is straight up black acrylic. I used a wet paintbrush without any color to blend in the edges. Some parts of this black need to look like they've been spray painted on. So I used my colorless brush and just blended the heck out of it. The neck was a little tricky. As you can see, that looks like it's been spray painted too. So I just did these weird sort of lines and then blended them in. On the top of the head, I neatened the orange patterns with the black acrylic paint. Then I used a very small brush and painted in the black patterns inside of the orange ones. I start with those on the head and then progressively move down the rest of the body. The patterns on the legs are a little bit different. This time we have the black going on the outside of the orange patterns. continued this airbrushed looking black all the way down in the middle of the body and on the tail. There'll be some of this on the legs too. And here's the black with that airbrush effect applied where it needs to be. Next, I moved on to the claws and painted them all black. Then I painted the slashes on the side of the body with some nice bright red. Once the red dried, I painted in some of the bone colour with some off-white, mixed with white and yellow. This will be the same colour we'll be using on the teeth. But before we move on to the teeth, let's paint in all of those weird little white dots on the face. Next, I painted in the gums with some nice pink. I used a nice bright yellow for the eyes. Since the teeth on this figure are much thicker than on the original Hasbro one, I decided to paint them black and then paint some smaller looking teeth over them. By adding the brighter colour on the black, it will make it look like the teeth are a tiny bit smaller than what they actually are. Here we go, I'm applying that off-white on the teeth, but I'm making sure not to paint the whole tooth in, just a smaller portion of them. I then dipped a toothpick in some black acrylic paint and then applied it on the eye to make the pupil. Then I decided to dry brush some grey over the airbrushed looking effect. That really makes it look like it's been airbrushed a bit better than how it did before. Then with a small brush and white paint, I added the classic JP3 logo. And here it is, that ghastly looking bootleg figure is actually looking really decent now, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I did forget to say that I did lacquer the whole figure. I sealed it with some satin lacquer. Let me know what you guys think of this repaint. I'm really happy with it, and I'm kind of hoping Mattel does some similar repaints, making some sort of chaos effect again in the Jurassic Park line. I kind of miss these vibrant colors. They're always really appealing. Chaos effect and CamoXtreme always looked really badass. Who knows, we might see something similar in the Jurassic World Reimagined line. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Drop me an email if you like this figure and if you want it. Thanks again. Bye.
I would like to give a massive thank you to all of my Patreons. Seriously guys, your support really does mean the world to me, as it helps me do what I love for you. You help me buy materials, and most of all, you give me a helping hand with improving the quality of the content of my videos. Even if it's just a small donation, every little helps.